We're on the complete other side of the globe.
We're like damn near the furthest away from our land, Israel.
But over here, you know, the testimony is coming out. The witness of Yahweh Shai through his word, through the spirit of prophecy is being witnessed over here. And that's what's gathering the Lord's sheep. All right? Now he said that he'd be a witness unto us, even to the uttermost parts of the earth. So now you're seeing Jacob being gathered from the west to the east. The truth returned to Israel, all right, brothers here in Babylon, and then the spreading of the gospel through the help of the unicorn, which is the internet, which is how our brothers on the eastern side, in the eastern hemisphere, woke up. And we're being gathered, man. The Lord is, he's breaking down the breach.
Yep. Breaking down the strongholds.
The strongholds. And this is scaring the piss out of Esau, man.
All right, man.
You know? This scaring the piss out of Esau, man. You know? Yeah.
And behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One.
By the word. That's how we all together. That's why we got brothers that connect with us in England, in Holland. All right, we got brothers in
Germany,
Africa,
Philippines,
the Philippines, Mexico. I'm just focusing on the Eastern Hemisphere. You know? So we got brothers that's connecting on that side, man.
Nobody went over there.
Yeah, the apostles never stepped foot over there to preach the word.
And they're prophesying the downfall of America over there.
Con.
You know?
Same doctrine.
And they cussing out Esau over there.
Con.
They're just as bold as we are over here, man.
Brothers in Australia.
Con.
Yeah.
GMS Australia, yep. So that, hey, we're this is prophecy playing out.
Con.
You can't tell me this book ain't real, man. You know? Yep.
Acts chapter 1, I'm gonna start with verse 7. And he said,
Esau too, man.
Con.
Honey, what he said. Sugar baby Neanderthal, man. Yeah.
It's sad though, you used to get that from you niggas. You get that from Jake.
Nigga happy to take that big white bitch home.
Oh.
I got a white bitch.
Big ass load of laundry and shit. Big ass bag of laundry. That's what she said.
It said walking around like a beanbag.
Like a melted gallon and shit.
Acts chapter 1 verse 7, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the time or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall, but he gave a clue anyway, right? He says, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witness unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria, and the uttermost part of the earth.
Yep. The uttermost part of the earth. Yep. All right.
The part that nobody was dwelling at, that's over here. Asterisk. Okay? Whenever mankind dwelt.
Yeah. I mean, because when you go back to that time in the Acts, the gospel was being spread just throughout,
Asia
Judea
Minor.
and Asia Minor, and further east. All right. But when did this testimony become broad on the other side of the world? The tribes, they knew about Yahweh Shai. The tribes that was over here, they called him Quasi-Quadro. And they had other different names for him, man. And they knew he was a dark-skinned man. That's why the Lord said in John 10, there's another fold that I must bring. You know?
I gotta read. This is Baruch chapter 2 and verse 32. Let me start at 30. And I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves and shall know that I am the Lord their power, For I will give them a heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, and they shall remember the ways their fathers which sinned before the Lord.
They will be refreshed and converted to be healed. You know? According to Isaiah. That's the prophecy of us coming back. Okay, and understanding who we are, who our Heavenly Father and our power is, our mediator, our Lord, the restoration of our heritage. All these things have to come back. We have to remember all these things, to wake up and be ourselves again, to return to being the princes of the power.
Hey, what does it mean to educate? So that meant that we had to be educated in order for us to return. In order for us to be returned as a nation, we had to be educated. And it took for men of the Holy Spirit to be able to enlighten and stir up their minds by the scriptures, the breakdowns. Going back to Jeremiah 3 and 15, I have a set up pastors that shall feed according to mine heart, that shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. The Lord set those men up, man. All right, the prophets was gonna always resurface with every empire. The Lord was always gonna raise His prophets up, man.
Always had a purpose.
They're always happening, and we're in that time now. That's why I said in Daniel, He told Daniel, shut up the words in the book, all right, until the time of the end, and that he was going to basically seal the book. But he said many is going to go to and fro, and now shall be increased in the end. And that's why we're back in that. That's how you know we're at the end of Esau's world. Going back to 2nd Ezra 6, how that when his world begin to vanish away, the Lord's going to basically give us those tokens. And the book shall be open before the firmament, and we shall all see together. Now the truth that had been without fruit is now being declared.
That's right.
Okay, now we know who we are. Now we know who Esau is, man. Okay, hey, that's an act of power, man. That's miraculous that this was able to occur this way, man. You know. The Lord having to redeem us out of this dead state, you know.
She looking like she's guilty.
Hey, man.
Look back like y'all.
Hey, man.
I didn't come to Vegas for this.
Hey, and I'm gonna say this. Yeah, we may not have the power to do the same miracles that the apostles were doing during the time of the Acts. Yet. But what we've done so far is an act of power in itself. Get Micah 3 and 8 real quick.
And the miracle, racing, y'all.
Because we're speaking things to existence. The things that which really it was already spoken, it was already declared from the beginning. But the fact that we're speaking it again, and now these people are they're beginning to see it. That's actual power, man. Because it takes the spirit for you to prophesy. Okay. You can't prophesy without the spirit. You got to have the spirit on you to be able to prophesy. And through all this prophesying for these many years, look at the flock. Look at the growing numbers. Everybody's abandoning the Christian church. That shit is being abandoned. That shit is getting played out now, man.
Their numbers are dwindling like Esau's, man.
Yeah. They might as well turn a lot of these church buildings into hotels and motels.
I know
man.
some of these mega churches. They already got built like them.
You might as well just buy them out and use it to make money.
Faithful Central Hotel.
You know? Because ain't nobody going in them church houses like that no more, man.
It's Micah chapter 3 verse 8. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and of the judgment and of the might, to declare unto Jacob his transgressions and to Israel his sins.
Hey, and that's what we're out here doing, right? We're out here teaching our people to repent. We rebuking them so that they may repent in fear and come back and return with the full assurance of heart. You know? Giving warning to Israel. Hey, that's by the power of the Spirit.
Yeah, right.
We're a watchman.
We're the Lord's watchmen, man. Okay, so we have power on a smaller scale, but hey, the Lord's going to increase that power. So where eventually we are going to be doing what the apostles were doing. The fact that Esau is he's basically showing us what he's doing with the media right now, with demonizing us, that he's right around the corner. He's about to try to come and attack us. You don't think the Most High is going to intervene and give his men power? The fact that we just had a blood moon, and then right after that, this situation in D.C. occurs, and now all of a sudden there's an all-out war against the black Hebrew Israelites.
We're not black.
So-called.
So-called.
Yeah, so-called.
Yeah, because Esau, get that soundbite in.
Well, that's the buzzword.
Yeah.
That's what's flashing on the screen.
Yeah,
But we notice because the Lord sends those signs for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, a blood moon. And then this happens, and then all of a sudden, we're being demonized. Now, people are going to be issuing threats. People are going to be walking up on the camps. You got Edomites on the comment board saying those black hate group, they need to be arrested for terroristic threats. So that they're building that case so they can come against us. You don't think that the Most High is going to give his men that power, man?
He's gonna show us.
Hey,
miracles.
Salakia, we just had a Purim.
Yeah.
During Purim, what happened? We was in captive under the Medo-Persian Empire, the Persian Empire in particular, and you had Haman, which was an Edomite, Amalekite. This motherfucker was trying to get Jacob slaughtered. He was trying to get the Jews slaughtered, man. And he basically sent letters to the king how that, this nation, they basically live contrary to your laws. They live in opposition of your kingdom. So we need to do something about this. And he was hoping that the king would take heed to that letter so that the king could basically exterminate the Jews, man.
Yeah, he didn't want us to build our temple either. He said they're building their temple, and they know when we built our temple, we went there to worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Power came back and we overthrew the country.
Yeah, kind.
Because he himself wanted to be worshipped. And he got pissed off that Mordecai didn't bow to it, he didn't have respect for him. So that's why he wanted to get Mordecai killed. But it backfired on him, man. Matter of fact, since we mentioned it, let's go to Esther, the 3rd chapter.
Hosea 6:5. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets, I have slain them by the words of my mouth.
You I believe, is chopped down.
Yeah.
Like an axe. When you cutting down a tree.
You down a tree or something.
Yeah.
I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth.
Yeah, he's getting annihilated, man. All right, he's getting spiritually mutilated. It's hurting him. It's cutting him to his soul. That's why it tells you in Thessalonians how the Lord said He's going to consume him with the spirit of His mouth. He's doing it through us. And because of us being boldly out here doing what we're doing, they consider that an opposition, basically like a rebellion. All right, I forget who said it, but the saying goes, in the time of universal deceit, truth is an act of revolution. It's a revolutionary act. I forgot who said
It's
that.
an Arthur, Orwell.
George Orwell.
George Orwell, yeah.
1984.
Yeah, and that's true. Because basically, if we prophesied against this kingdom, then yes, we are rebelling against it. The fact that we're coming together and we're excluding everybody else, you can't be a part of this temple, this is for Israelites only, they're going to take that like, well, these guys, they're rebelling against our kingdom.
Yeah, they're racist.
They're forming something within our society, and they're saying that we can't be a part of it. We got to put a stop to that. So back then, going back to the time of Esther, that's what happened, man. Because the Jews they kept their customs in the land, and Esau showing you once again that he always had that perpetual hatred for Israel every time. So get that in account in Esther.
Read it, sir.
Yeah, you can start at the top. We're preaching the scriptures, the Holy Bible. Go ahead, Doc.
This is
all this stuff, the 12 tribes of Israel. It
Excuse
seems like it's different.
Huh?
I see that you're a regular Bible, but all this other stuff, what is it all about? I'm just interested.
Are you talking about the signs or?
Yeah, I feel like you guys be talking about something a little bit more, no?
Yeah, all of this is written in the scriptures.
all of this relates to scriptures.
That
You're not
RFID
challenging,
chip.
I'm just curious.
No.
prophecy. It's just according to Bible prophecy. These are the things that are going to occur according to the Bible.
You think about President Trump?
Hey,
He's fulfilling prophecy.
he's doing a wonderful job. Basically, because what he's doing right now is going to play into prophecy how America is going to basically be destroyed.
Yeah.
Trump is going to lead America into destruction.
Can I say this? And when America's destroyed is when we get free from this captivity and get to rule the world in righteousness under our Lord.
Captive right now?
You don't feel like you captive?
Can you go to another country without a passport?
No.
You captive. Because you
Well,
gotta have.
can I go?
Without-
Probably, yeah.
Hey,
Probably-
if he
probably
shut
determined to
on
do
the
it.
15th, if he shut this the government back down, you can't go.
Can't go if you don't have your passport?
You can't go to another country. You can't get on
You can't drive with your own car without a license.
without a license.
Without their okay that you can do this, and that's your possession.
That's like, you remember in slavery time when you had to go to another plantation, you needed a pass. What is it?
All pass.
Walking papers or something like that. The same thing as today.
Slave patrol.
Slave
that's
patrol.
your highway patrol.
Yeah.
That's like the law of the land, though. You don't agree with that?
Yeah.
No, we have to agree with it now, but it ain't righteous.
It's
It's not the right thing.
So
that don't make it right because it's the law of the land.
I just want to, those who are out there, I want to see what you guys think about this one. So, I mean, but if there was no police, right, who's gonna fucking govern shit, you know? Because you know, just like I know niggas don't know how to act sometimes, white people don't know how to act sometimes, Asian people don't know how to act sometimes.
Right.
You gotta have some type of standard so people know, hey, I can't do this shit because they gotta protect you, they gotta protect me.
You said it, but you said it. We're supposed to be policing ourselves to where we just do the right thing.
Yeah, but that's
That's it. That's what's happening in society. That's what it's supposed to
Because
be.
I think about it like this, back in the days when people, knights and shit, right? Back before there was too much law, pretty much, if you offended me and I was bigger than you, I could fucking kill you pretty much because you offended my honor, and ain't no one gonna do nothing because I'm bigger than everybody and I got a big ass, I'm known for swording or whatever, right?
Right.
Well, if you say that, but
That's
even
kinda
from
like
that
what
theory,
today is there was righteous what we're talking about, there were righteous laws that we live by. So if you broke one of these laws, if we were living by the laws of the Bible, then there was a judgment for it.
And God would execute that on
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
but with that mindset though, that'll be just like saying if I have a kid, I let my kids do whatever the hell they want. The kids
Right.
really,
Right,
you know.
right. But you control your kids. This government, they're not your parents. You're supposed to be taught the right ways, and there should be a consequence when you break them. It should be.
But then the same thing would be if you break the law, there should be a consequence.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that consequence should be.
Right, and but at least it should be fair all across the
I
board.
agree.
And it's not.
It's not.
Do you think it's righteous for someone that say has a small amount of weed and they go to jail for 5 years, but a pedophile gets out in less than a year?
I don't think that should. I don't think it's right.
But that's society. That's a society. That's how the society governs its laws.
But that's a difference. That's a difference between saying some laws are unfair versus there should be no laws at all.
Right.
Can I bring this up?
Oh.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
We should have had our own king that was one of our people to rule over us, not to have another nation rule over us that don't understand our people. The so-called white men don't understand our people to be ruling over us. The African man don't understand our people to be ruling over us. The Asian man don't. None of these other Arab, none of them.
Then who do?
Our own people, these people on the side, who should be ruling over us. Particularly the Most High God.
So Judah are Negroes, Benjamin are Indians.
No,
Is that what that
West-
is? Like
West
those
Indians.
three
Benjamin and
tribes?
West Indies.
West Indies.
Yeah, Caribbean. Yeah.
Caribbean islands.
So
And parts of South America, because you got Guyana.
So if I look at this correctly, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi are all within the same.
Kingdom.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
the
all
southern
southern
kingdom.
kingdom, darker tribes.
But is the theory then one nationality is greater than the other nationality based on the nationality, or is it
Yes.
just righteousness
gonna get the
righteousness
scriptures.
period?
Well, we'll get that in Deuteronomy 4.
So you're saying some nationality. So what is the most?
Hold on, we're gonna deal with one at a time,
All right, fair.
just to have order.
That's fair. We can't all be talking at the same time. You're right.
One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
So these are neighbors and brothers. Okay?
Yeah, so basically, according to that law, if you're going out and voting for these presidents, you violating that scripture. Because
So
these
you don't
presidents,
believe in
these
voting?
presidents are. Is Trump your people?
I didn't vote for
your
Trump.
man? No, I'm just making an example. When our people go and put their trust in the system, they vote for these heathens to reign up over them. They're in violation of the law because we're supposed to have our own that actually understands us. You rather have a man amongst your nation, or that went to school with you, that understands the conditions of your community. They know the people in your community. You know, they have a good upstanding report amongst the people. You want that kind of man, a man that relates to you, to rule up over you, to have your best interests, your people, your
That's
brother.
impossible. I can understand that point of
Wait,
view.
wait. Let me use what you used earlier.
Okay.
Your kids, you want another man raising your kids, or are you gonna raise your kids better than any other man?
Absolutely not.
That's the same thing.
I can understand that point of view, but then when you look at it from the scale of the nation as a whole, how does one person understand the
Well,
whole?
no, he's saying so for each people. So like Judah would be.
No. It's one for all 12.
Oh, so, okay. So who would be the
One
one,
for
one true?
That's why we have who the Bible calls, or the world calls Jesus Christ, because he understands everybody. He comes from the Heavenly Father. Who understood everybody.
This is the image that they put forth. They put
I
out
like
there.
that picture, though. It's nice.
Yeah.
Don't you feel better with this ruling over you than that?
I don't
Think
know. I
about
gotta
it.
see his character. I like the picture.
Hey, his character.
Hey, thanks for mentioning all this.
Hold on.
man.
His
Hold on, man.
character.
Well, I have a
Hold
good
on,
one.
brother.
Oh, they got
His
stuff
character,
from
his character resulted in this.
Talk about
Well,
the
that's
white one.
we talking about
White
his character.
But his character,
character,
won't let that happen to you. That
His character,
won't let that
he's
happen.
coming
I
back
can
to
tell you
deliver us
that's
from those
definitely
people.
not my plan to
Yeah.
end up that way.
Right. I'm saying he wouldn't let
Y'all
that
have a
happen
good
to
one,
you.
man.
I appreciate y'all
All
sharing
right.
information.
All right, man. Let's get back into
Let's just go back to
Jake. They've been in America too long. You know? America too long. Go ahead, bro.
It's Esther chapter 3, verse 1. And after these things did King Ahasuerus promote.
It's a lot.
Hazel,
Jake
it's-
has a 3-minute attention span, bro. Like
Yeah,
if you
man.
don't get it to him in 3 minutes, it's gone.
Ahasuerus. And after these things,
Ahasuerus,
Ahasuerus,
which is Xerxes.
Yeah.
Go
the
ahead.
king Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him in
Agagite, which that goes back to Agag, the Amalekite. All right, which is Edomite. Okay, go ahead.
and advanced him and set his seat above all princes that were with him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gates bowed in reverence Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did he reverence.
He had no respect for that devil. Okay, because Haman was high up in the Persian Empire, man. He had an actual status, a position. Okay,
He had like a governing seat.
he had a governing seat within that, and those that's where the king of Persia's that's where they
Mistake.
that was what their mistake was, allowing the devil to come up in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who took him down?
Hey, matter of fact,
Took him down.
was that in I think it's back in Ecclesiasticus 12, where it says he will seek to take thy
Oh
seat.
yeah. He was crouching.
Yeah.
Like
He said
set
Haman,
him not by
a devil,
thee.
he set him by him.
Yeah.
He gave him position within his kingdom.
Yeah.
And then what happened? the Persians fell to the Edomites.
Yeah.
So-called
I got
Grecians.
you. 12. Yeah, I got you. Sirach chapter 12, verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, which is what he was doing, lest he seek to take thy seat.
Yep.
And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten up with a serpent, or such as come nigh wild beasts? Nobody gonna pity you because you put yourself in position for that to happen to you.
Yeah. If those Persians, if they was wise, they would have did what the Lord commanded Saul to do. They wouldn't have allowed no position for these devils, man.
That's why you can't have no Edomites in the kingdom after that 1,000 years. Because they'll fuck up everything, man. They'll try to
One Edomite, mess it all up.
One apple spoiled the whole bird. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence. Then the king's servant, which were in the king's gates, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment?
So this is the precept of men and shit. Why are you breaking the commandment? You're supposed to bow before Haman. You know, because Haman, you know, the pride of Esau being lifted up. He think he's the Most High himself. You're supposed to worship him. All right. So he felt disrespected by Mordecai, man. Right? Go ahead.
Now it came to pass, when they spoke daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matter would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew.
Yeah, I'm an Israelite, man. I got my God that I serve. I'm not finna worship no damn kite. You know?
And this same thing happened during the time of Daniel.
Yep.
When they wanted them to bow.
Yep.
And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence, then was Haman full of wrath, and he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone.
Hey, if as long as Esau don't see us bowing to him like the rest of Jake, or these defeated ass self-hating Negroes that walk hand in hand with this devil, those are the ones that he feel as a threat. Those are the ones that he feel would pose a threat to his society, his kingdom. And that's why his focus is on us so much.
And they pose a threat because if the mass people see us not bowing down to Esau, they may think to rebel also. And Esau don't want that.
Yeah, even when you deal with how the beast shall cause whosoever would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You know, showing you that, hey, Haman, he's the descendant of that beast. All right? And these devils, if you don't comply to their New World Order, they're going to want you dead, man. And this ministry opposes this system.
Right.
So he's going to demonize it. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 6, and he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had shown him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews.
He said, you know what, because this one Negro did this, I want to exterminate all these niggas. I want to get rid of all of them now. You know? And he know that because he's the right-hand man of the king, that whatever he decrees, the king is going to be down with it. So he's going to use his political power, his sovereign power, to be able to execute that hatred against Judah, man.
Oh, y'all doing a video? I was asking my friend. It's all good.
Hey. All right, go ahead.
For they had shown him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus. How you say it? Ahasuerus. Salah. Even the
Xerxes, bro.
Xerxes.
Yeah, just say Xerxes. Yeah,
And the people.
That's another name for it.
That's the way you wrote it in Greek, right?
Well, yeah.
Ahasuerus. Even the people of Mordecai, in the first month, that is the month of Nisan, In the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast per that it is the lot before Haman.
Yeah, Purim, you know, power one, which means lot, you know. So he tried to cast that lot upon us that we would be exterminated. But the lot ended up falling on his ass. All right. Hey, let him be taken in the device that he imagined. Go ahead, huh?
Before that is the lot before Haman from day to day and from month to month, and to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed.
There's a scattered people abroad. I'm showing you that every time we was going into captivity, that's how we became dispersed through the Assyrian Empire to the Neo-Babylonian Empire, and then now we dealing with the Persian Empire. So we were scattered. Slavery is what scatters of people, man. All right, that's why we're scattered even to this day. Go ahead.
And a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdoms, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws.
Their laws are different. Don't that sound familiar? Just like going to the time of the Greeks. If you was caught circumcising or keeping the Sabbath or whatever, you had to get put to death, man.
And some of those jakes was getting put to death.
God.
They said it's better to eat pork than to speak Greek during those times. You know, the people that stood up to the Greeks. All right.
Somebody get Wisdom of Solomon 2 real quick. Because, hey, we get persecuted because we're standing for the law of the Most High. Mm-hmm. You know, when they capture, they want to put the clips out there of us saying that homosexuals should be put to death. That's in the law. But hey, that law goes against your society. Your law actually upholds homosexuals. It protects them. The laws of the scriptures say you're supposed to put them to death. So of course we're gonna be as that opposition. You okay? Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. No, not the top, but where it says that just read where you at while you look for it. Yeah, it might be higher. It's more than likely higher.
And their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
It's not for the king's profit to suffer them. They're going against your rules and regulations. All right, your decrees. They living separately. They're doing their own thing. They live a certain different manner of life. So it wouldn't serve you to suffer them. You should get rid of them. They're opposition to your society. Just like the Israelites right now, we're considered a threat. We're considered extremists for basically upholding the righteous laws of the Most High. Verse 12.
Yeah. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 12. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
Exactly.
Hey, let's get rid of the righteous because they're in the way of what we want to do, the way we want to live.
Yeah. Let's get rid of these righteous men because they always going to oppose our laws, our decrees we push out.
Like you said, that goes directly to what we're going to do right now. Hey, it is no joke. I call that the YOLO chapter, and that's exactly the mind state that these people have today that we're defeating through the word of Yahweh Shai. We tell him, no, you're going to have to pay for this in this life or the next. You're going to have to pay for it, though.
And he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us
Hey,
with.
Salaki, but when you go like in the military or in the hood even, or in the police force, they want everybody in on the same side. Somebody that speaks up against their own, they don't like that. They want you either, they want your hands dirty in the situation as well, or they don't like you. They can't trust you.
Yep.
That's just how they look at the righteous men.
He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressions of our education.
Yeah, show them their wickedness, man. You know? Yeah, man. And they're annoyed by the fact that the Lord gave us the spirit to cast down these strongholds that they've used to further reign and imperialize, okay, to maintain their global hegemony. You know, we're pulling down strongholds, man. And what would it also say that bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience, you know, of Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, that's what we represent out here. So going back to this time, it was no different, man. We want to stay separate. The Lord told us to be holy as I'm holy. Don't do after the nations, man. All right. They understood that if we gonna have a king, it should be among our brother. We ain't finna bow down to this kite, man. The kites are our enemies. The Lord said he will have war with Amalek forever, man.
And that's where that word kite comes from, Amalekite.
All right.
So don't try to take it as an anti-Semitic term. Like the one guy said, they're Semites too, or Shemites.
Right.
You just impersonating the actual Shemite that we are, the Israelites. You're a Hebrew Edomite. From the line of Shem.
Yeah, the East Indians are Shemites.
Yeah.
The Chinese and the Japanese are Shemites.
So is the Arabs.
The East Indians, you know, the Arabs, they're Shemites, man.
The Hebrew Ishmaelites.
Come on.
You know?
Hebrew Moabites.
Yeah.
They don't got the promises though.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted. Or back in Esther chapter 3, verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries.
They're gonna put a bounty.
Yep.
You think they're gonna try to put a bounty up for us too?
Same thing in Acts.
Yeah, they're doing that already
Exactly.
on YouTube. What's that thing called? The YouTube
GMS.
YouTube.
where you can click on, you can police the
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called.
YouTube. I just read an article. YouTube's trying to put a crackdown on all conspiracy, so-called conspiracy theory videos.
Yeah.
Anything that questions false flags.
Yeah, or what they deem fake news.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, come on. Verse 10, and the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
Yep.
And the king,
our enemy.
yeah.
We ain't finna bow to our enemy, man. But of course, the enemy got to show himself. He got to show his true colors, because he wanted us to bow. He wanted Mordecai to bow before him, and now that he got disrespected, he's not being worshipped now. Now he wants to get them killed. So, I mean, the reason why I'm going into this is because we just had the feast of remembering of the Purim, and then right after that, we just had a blood moon.
Yep.
So maybe Esau is going to try to come after us.
Yep.
We don't know, but those are signs.
Yeah, he's gotta come. He's coming.
During this time, he tried to get us killed off back then. You know? And they putting off the same sentiment that that they were doing against the Jews back then. Oh, these dudes, they're worshiping their own laws. You know? They got a problem with America. They said America's gonna be destroyed. You know? So that's what we happening right now. So we're gonna be persecuted, and then eventually we're gonna be led to the prisons.
Revelations 3 and
Come on, you ain't got to get it right now. You know. I don't know if there's more on that, but if not, go to the one in the edition of Esther. Go to the 13th chapter. The edition of Esther. Real quick.
13.
You there?
Top,
Yeah, you can start at the top.
This edition of Esther, chapter 13 and 1. The copy of the letters was this: the great king Artaxerxes writeth these things to the princes and governors that were under him from India unto Ethiopia, and in 107 and 20 provinces.
Yep.
After that I became Lord over many nations, and have dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, but carrying myself always with equity and mildness. I purpose to settle my subjects continually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passages to the uttermost coast, to renew peace, which is desired of all men. Now when I asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Haman, is that it says Haman?
Yeah.
Haman, is that
Haman. That's the same dude.
Haman,
Same devil.
that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant good will and steadfast fidelity. And I had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world they were scattered a certain malicious people.
So now he's getting down to the Israelites now. The black, which we're not black, but that same derogatory term.
And he said malicious.
He said it maliciously, man. Now look, now see how he's about to paint Israel back then.
Right.
The Judah in particular, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Go ahead.
Malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations.
So these are malicious people. So they have the intent to be injurious to people. All right, to incite harm against people. They're practicing under laws that is contrary to the law of the land. Right? Go ahead.
And continually despise the commandments of the kings.
Just like we despise the laws of this world. Okay? We hate the laws of this world, man. This law for when you and your wife is divorced, this law that you got to pay alimony and child support.
Yeah.
But according to our law, she went out free without money.
Or the kids.
And the children, because that's your inheritance. The laws are just totally contrary, man. You're not supposed to, according to our law, you're not supposed to hold wages until the following day. The sun's not supposed to go down, and your worker didn't get paid. But in this society, the law is you got to get paid every week or every other week, bi-weekly.
Or they got the law where after 7 years, you're supposed to forgive debt. Esau will have you in debt for the rest of your whole life.
I've been out of college a long time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms honorably intended by us cannot go forward. Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in oppression unto all men.
No, read that again.
Seeing that we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition, opposition,
Make sure you read that right.
Opposition unto all men.
They're in opposition to all men. So, hey, what does that sound like? those Hebrew Israelites out there, they saying that everybody's gonna serve in captivity under them. They're saying that they're gonna rule over everybody. They're saying that their race is superior than every other nation. Well, it's according to our book, according to the law.
According to prophecy.
Okay? It's not a lie, you know? But that's how they feeling right now. The same way this devil felt, he felt the need to pin this down in a letter to the king. To try to get rid of us, man. Go ahead, bro.
Differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state.
You said what? What did it say? Shalom. Shalom. Go ahead,
And evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established. Therefore we have command that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Haman, who is ordained over the affairs in Salah.
Yeah, this was it.
That was it, huh? And who is ordained over the affairs and is next unto us, shall all with their wives and their children be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month, Adar of his present year, that they who of old and now are more malicious may in one day with violence go into the...
And that's why they don't like it. That's why everybody else is docile in this society right now. But the men of the Lord speak boldly with testosterone and masculinity. That's the difference. So they can easily identify us because we speak in the spirit that they're not accustomed to anymore.
They show the righteous man standing great boldness.
Yep.
You know, and we're doing that. So basically, we're that opposition. But they're gonna paint it as if what we're doing is malicious. You see how he was trying to demonize Jake?
Yeah.
Trying to paint a certain narrative about Jake so he can get the king to consider like, oh wow, so these guys talking about what? They're gonna do something evil to my kingdom?
You know, Esau was lying his ass off.
Esau was he was you know how Esau do it, man. You know? This man's he's a master manipulator, man. A devil, a deceiver, man. False accuser.
May in one day with violence go into the grave, so ever hereafter cause our affairs to be well settled and without trouble.
Yep. That's pretty much it, man. So basically he ordained for the tribes, the three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, to basically be destroyed in a violent manner, man. Yeah. Which the judgment ended up being to be hung on the gallows.
Yep.
You know, basically to get lynched. All right, but y'all that's familiar with, you know, if you read the story, the history, if I should say, the Most High basically set his ass in his own snare, to where him and his family, they ended up getting hung on the gallows, the same gallows that they had built for the Israelites, man.
Just like in the time of Daniel, when what was the Nebuchadnezzar? He threw them in the furnace and their families.
Because they didn't have them down.
Yeah. When in lions did, yeah.
Yeah, man. So hey, you see that same energy, the same scenarios are playing out even in this day. Okay? And that's why that devil was being slick by trying to, when he was talking to that Israelite, he kept on saying, your group, which their agenda is to group us all as one. That's part of their propaganda, man. So that when